All right. Welcome to Positioning OS. This is step 2, phase 2, stage 2 of building a copywriter specific business. What you're doing here is you're taking the exceptional work that you just did in the ideal client persona OS, and now you are going to create a position for yourself in the market that differentiates you from every other copywriter out there, so that you are the first person that comes to mind when your ideal client encounters a problem and he's thinking about a solution. Let's dive in. So, as you can see here, how to be the first person or the first option that comes to mind for your ideal clients. So positioning, if you haven't read the book by Al Rees, I highly recommend that you read it. There's a quote in here that is, to find a unique position, you must ignore conventional logic. Conventional logic says you find your concept inside of yourself or inside of the product. That's not true. What you must do is look inside your prospect's mind, and you've already done that. So you have the information that you need in order to create your position in the market, because you deeply understand your ideal client, what they value and what they want. Okay? So my goal here is to help you appear the best and only option for your ideal client in the copywriting space, to strengthen your future marketing, because the marketing that you do is going to make this position concrete for you. And that's going to solve the problem of being just another copywriter or having a bland, boring, similar marketing message than everybody else. And because it's what I do and it's what I love to do, I'm going to make it simple, easy, and straightforward for you. So as I've touched on already, the problem with most copywriters is that they don't know what positioning is, or that they need to do it. So they rush into things and they're like, this is what I really want to do, and they go from this concept inside of themselves, and they go, this is what I want to do, and I'm just going to do it. And they rush into things and they start marketing and creating offers and advertising and promoting themselves, and then they become disheartened and disenchanted, and they go, fuck, what's wrong? And it's because they never did the ideal client persona, or they haven't figured out their positioning. And that causes them to be just another copywriter. There's nothing remarkable about them. They're not, as Seth Godin would say, a purple cow. If a copywriter is a cow in a paddock, they're just another dairy cow or beef cow. But positioning helps you become the purple cow, the one that stands out and makes people remark and go, oh God, what is that? That is amazing. Yep, so that's what we're going to do here. And the last problem is that when you don't have a strong, unique position, you can't secure or charge premium prices, because people compare you to everybody else. So they go, but if you do what they do and they charge cheaper, or they charge the same rate, but I'm going to get it faster, like, why would I go with you? Okay, so it removes those problems. Yep. And the reason that it removes those problems is it makes it easy for prospects to know exactly who you are, who you help, and what you do for them in a way that's different to the other copywriters on the market. So the solution, very simple. Okay, 3 steps. You've already done the first step, so congratulations. You did it when you completed your ideal client persona research. Okay? The second step is that you get to craft and choose your position. Okay? This is where you get to design and create what's known as a category of one for yourself. So it's like, these are the things that you're going to promote, advertise, and essentially compete on. Okay? If you look at, let's go pizzas. Okay? Let's use an XY axis here, which I'm going to walk you through in a second. I'll just take this back a bit. But let's say that this was pizzas. Okay? So the product or the service is pizza. So if you wanted to start a new pizza company, you could choose here frozen and fresh. So am I going to compete in the frozen market, or am I going to compete in the fresh market? And then you might say, well, now I want to compete on price. So expensive, cheap. Okay? It'd be hard to market yourself and take a position of an expensive frozen pizza, but it would be easy to take an expensive fresh pizza, and then you would do the things to justify that premium rate. We use top quality ingredients. We use things like truffles and gold foil and all of those things to charge a premium price. Or you could do fresh and cheap, which means that, it's going to take some time to get to you. The ingredients aren't that good, but it tastes okay. Or you could go fresh, frozen, And you could go slow, fast. So we're frozen, but it's really, really fast. So it's going to solve that problem of I'm hungry and I want a quick solution. So you get to choose what goes on these XY axes. Okay? But how you choose them is you pick two things that your clients value. Because that means that you are now competing on values and you're not competing on price or on speed or on risk. Okay? You do value those things, but they're not the core of your positioning. The core of your positioning is something deeper, which immediately helps you differentiate yourself and stand out. Because instead of just saying that, I'm more expensive and I create faster results and they're better results, you're saying I also stand for these things on top of that. And that creates the differentiation. So what you do, pick two values that you identified in the ideal client persona research OS that your ideal client has, and choose two that are a little rarer or really speak to you, and plot them. So for myself, what I did was I chose simplicity and I chose specificity. The opposites of those is broad and complex. And my position in the market is that I want my ideal clients to think to themselves, this is so simple. This is so easy to understand. It's so straightforward. But I want them to also think, holy shit, this is so specific. This isn't just surface level. This is really tactical, in-depth stuff. But it's not complex. It's so simple because of the way that it's laid out. So what happens is that normally when people get into the in-depth tactical stuff, it becomes super complex. It becomes really hard to understand and you've got to figure things out for yourself. I've taken the opposite position to that, of being, I'm going to make it really simple for you because I understand it so well that I can explain it in such a simple manner. And that is incredibly valuable, really in-depth, and also really simple. Okay? So by taking this position, I'm able to create an irresistible offer that shows my ideal clients how simple it is for them to do and how much they're going to learn from it and be able to implement and achieve their specific result. It's going to help to justify my premium prices, and it's going to form the future of my middle of funnel marketing strategy, which is where I'm going to focus on the speed of results, the certainty of the results, and I will introduce the pricing. It creates alignment and flow throughout the entire client journey from when they first discover you to when they become your client and you work with them for a long time. Okay? So once you've done that, so go through the two rarest values or the values that speak to you, plot them on the XY axis for yourself, okay? And then mark your position. So one of the things that you may want to do in this document is just come down and go, my XY axes are, and let's say that it is insecurity versus security, and I'm just thinking through the lens of one of an old client. They also wanted certainty, but that's security in and of itself. And let's go that they valued do it yourself versus done for you. Okay, so I would have do it yourself down here, and I would have insecurity here. So then I'd have security here, and I would have done for you here. And I would place at the top here my XY. So I'd say then my position is secure and done for you. So that means that what I am going to resonate with my ideal client is that I'm going to do it all for you, and I'm really freaking good at that, and that's going to help you feel really secure and have conviction in the results because the expert is taking care of it. So therefore they'd likely also value their time because they want it done for them versus valuing their money, which is that they do it themselves. Okay? So that's how I'd like you to complete this when you go through and do it yourself. The third step is you create your belief statement. So this is tied into Simon Sinek's Start with Why. Okay, this is the reason that I do what I do. This is my belief, and this is how it all works. This is your philosophy, that people can understand who you are, what you do, and why you do it. Okay, so what a belief statement has is 3 steps. It has your thesis, which is what you believe. It has your core elements, which is how you go about creating, which is what creates that thesis. And then you have your mechanism, which is what goes about creating the dream outcome, what the core elements are included inside. So this is something that you will hold to yourself, but it's going to help you simplify what it is that you're doing, why you're doing it, who you're doing it for, and how you do it. And this is something that you then include towards the bottom of the funnel once you have prospects who are considering working with you. Okay, this is what you're going to use as part of the sales process in the future. So my personal example of this is I believe that the copywriters that will thrive and be irreplaceable in the future are the ones that make the shift and act as business owners. That's my thesis. Because those that don't act as business owners are going to continually be applying for jobs and being rejected and go through the feast and famine. They're not going to have control of their future or their present moment. They're not going to have control of the leads that they generate and the number of clients that they can work with and the quality of clients that they can work with. They're going to be at the hands of everybody else. Okay, my core elements. To be one of those copywriters, you need to consistently get traffic. You need to have an effective conversion protocol, and you need to keep things simple and straightforward so that it's easy to do. Okay? My mechanism is that in order to have those 3 things, you need a CSB, which is a copywriter-specific business. That is what I am teaching in Copy Launch. My mechanism is a copywriting-specific business. And one of the skills in that is that you need to know how to write copy, which is why there's also copy coaching involved. But the core thing is the business. That's the differentiator. That's the thesis. The copywriters that know how to write copy and act and think as a business owner and build a copywriting specific business are the ones that will thrive and succeed in the future. They'll be irreplaceable. So 2 examples here. I believe that SaaS companies that thrive in the future are the ones that are able to communicate what they do in the simplest manner possible. For the SaaS companies to do that, they need to deeply understand their customers' language, communicate clearly and compellingly, and have alignment throughout all of their messaging. And in order to have those things, SaaS companies need a map. That's my mechanism, a message alignment protocol. If I was a copywriter that specialized in SaaS companies and I did full funnels, that is the thesis that I would have. Another example. I believe that companies running ads that will see the greatest ROAS in the future are the ones that best understand data, interpret it, and optimize based off it. For companies to do that, they need to know what the data means, they need to know how to read it, and they need to know what changes need to be made. And in order to have those things, companies need a SAC, a specialist advertising copywriter. Someone that doesn't just write the copy, someone that also understands the data and knows that if the CPMs are high, we need to better our creatives and better our targeting. That if our cost per click is high, we need to optimize the copy so that it invites the click and doesn't give away too much information. And if we've got low clicks, then we need to either look at our creatives to get people to stop, or we need to make that copy more compelling, clear, and invite the click. Okay? It's that simple. So come through 2 very simple activities for this part of the process. Create your XY. Where are you positioned in the market based on the 2 values that your ideal client has? And then write out what your belief statement is. Okay, so as I said, with the XY axis, you can just pop it in. I'll put to make it easy, I'll insert a line here. So pop it in here, what your 2 contrast levels on the X axis and the Y axis, and then what your position is, and then come through and write what your belief statement is. Okay, that's it. That's all you need to do for this one. Okay, so thank you for joining me here on this one. Once it's done, again, go, well, firstly, to get yours, go file, make a copy, and then once it's done, go share it with me, and go, anyone with the link can comment, so I can come in, comment it, and provide feedback. And if you have any questions before you go through this process or while you're going through it, please ask. I'm here to support. Okay, I appreciate you, and I'm excited to see what it is that you identify once you've completed Positioning OS.